Commander Ellis stared at the alien delegation across the conference table, their chitinous exoskeletons gleaming under the ship's artificial lighting. The Raxians had intercepted the human exploration vessel 3 days ago, and after tense negotiations, both parties agreed to a diplomatic meeting. This was humanity's first contact with an advanced spacefaring civilization, and everything hung in the balance. "We've observed your species," clicked Diplomat Track, the lead Raxian negotiator. "You are an anomaly, violent yet compassionate, destructive yet creative. Such contradictions should not exist in a rational species." Ellis nodded politely. "We contain multitudes." The Raxian's compound eyes shifted, processing this response. "Your kind survived despite your homeworld's extreme conditions, deadly radiation, extreme temperature variations, toxic substances. By galactic standards, Earth is hostile." "It's home," Ellis shrugged. "We adapted." "Indeed, this has made your kind unusually resilient, potentially dangerous." The diplomat's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of anxiety according to the xenobiologists. "Before we permit your species to join the Galactic Concord, we must assess your cognitive capabilities." Lieutenant Reed, the ship's science officer, leaned forward. "You want to test us?" "A single challenge," confirmed Track. "A logic puzzle. All species seeking admission must solve it." Ellis exchanged glances with Reed. "This seemed reasonable enough. We accept." The Raxian produced a small crystalline cube. When activated, it projected a holographic image, a complex geometric pattern that shifted and rearranged itself continuously. "The Vex's puzzle," Track explained. "You must deduce the underlying pattern and predict its next iteration. Most species require many cycles to solve it. Some never do." Reed studied the projection, her eyes tracking the movements. "How long do we have?" "The standard allowance is 1 rotation of your planet." Ellis nodded. 24 hours. We'll need a recording to study." The Raxians permitted this, and the human delegation retreated to their quarters. Ellis gathered the ship's brightest minds, mathematicians, physicists, engineers, even the ship's cook who had once been a chess grandmaster. "They're testing our problem-solving abilities," Reed explained to the assembled team. "The puzzle seems to combine several mathematical principles simultaneously." For hours, they analyzed the recording, breaking down the patterns, arguing theories, testing predictions. The ship's AI ran millions of simulations. 8 hours in, they had made little progress. "This is impossible," groaned the ship's engineer after another failed prediction algorithm. "The pattern changes fundamentally each iteration." Ellis paced the room, fatigue setting in. 18 hours had passed. "Maybe that's it," the cook suddenly said, looking up from his tablet. Everyone turned to him. "What if there isn't a single pattern? What if it's designed to be unsolvable by conventional logic?" Reed's eyes widened. "A meta-puzzle? A test within a test," Ellis realized. "They're not just examining our ability to solve problems. They're observing how we'd approach them." With this new perspective, they stopped trying to predict the exact configuration and instead analyzed the fundamental characteristics of each iteration. By the 23rd hour, Reed had developed a theory. "It's not about finding the one correct answer," she explained to Ellis. "It's about recognizing that multiple valid interpretations exist simultaneously." When they returned to the conference room, the Raxian delegation waited expectantly. Track activated the cube again. "Have you determined the next iteration?" the alien asked. Ellis stepped forward. "We have not." The Raxian's antennae twitched in what might have been disappointment. "And we cannot," Ellis continued, "because there is no single correct answer. The puzzle is designed to have multiple valid solutions based on different logical frameworks." Silence fell across the room. The Raxians exchanged rapid clicks and whistles. Instead, Reed added, producing her tablet, "We've mapped the probability space of potential next iterations based on competing logical systems." She projected her findings, not a single pattern, but a cloud of possibilities, each governed by different mathematical principles. Track's compound eyes dilated, focusing intensely on the display. "Fascinating. You recognize the fundamental nature of the test, The puzzle itself was never meant to be solved conventionally, Ellis said. It was designed to reveal how a species thinks. Precisely, Track clicked, a note of what might have been respect in the alien's voice. Most species attempt brute force solutions, persisting with a single approach. Some eventually recognize the futility and give up entirely. But not us, Ellis said. Humans are pattern seekers, but we're also pattern breakers. We question assumptions. Indeed, your adaptability to your deadly homeworld has translated to cognitive flexibility. You saw beyond the puzzle to the purpose behind it. Raxian's mandibles clicked in what the translation software identified as amusement. Perhaps your species' contradictions are not flaws, but strengths. The other Raxians conferred briefly before Track announced, "The test is passed. Your species has demonstrated the cognitive qualities required for Concord membership." As the diplomatic proceedings continued, Ellis reflected on humanity's place in this new galactic community. Their space orc resilience had shaped not just their bodies but their minds, creating a species that thrived on challenging the impossible. The universe, it seemed, had much to learn from the survivors of Earth.